Hi, it's Sarah. We're here for my third book babble and the third time that I've done this today because I refuse to do any editing right now because I left this to last minute. The intention of a book babble is basically you come here and you listen to me babble on about whatever books that I got the week at the library or at the bookstore or just ones that I haven't looked at in a while. And so you are welcome to grab a tea or put me on in your background and do the dishes. I try to make these about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how many things I can ramble on about. And so you have a good chunk of time to get stuff done. This will probably be one of the last library book babbles for a bit, only because it's dwindling and I'm in line for a lot of books, but these are ones that have been on hold for a while that have come in. They're ones that I have found in the middle of the night scrolling TikTok or Instagram that I was like, oh, I want to read that. And so it's interesting which ones come in at what times. I have talked about these books several times today already, and so hopefully this round will be just as exciting. I also want to note that I normally don't show you my bookshelf because it's actually a mess. I don't love a neat bookshelf. I do kind of love a messy bookshelf. I like books everywhere. They're everywhere in my house. It is what it is. But my light, the first time that I filmed this, died because I am a yapper. Now, these books, the point of a library book babble is that even if I don't get to these books, they have a place in the world. Just because I might not get into them, somebody else can get into them. And yeah, I have not read these books yet. I will do a recap of the books that I read at the end of the month, but I have not read these ones yet. This is my love letter to being a lady with a big TBR and a whole bunch of books that I have not read yet. So the first book I have right now is a local author named Danielle L. Jensen. She wrote A Fate Inked in Blood. It's basically about this girl named Feyre who is in an unwanted marriage, and her husband betrays her and like gives her up, where she's like gives her up to this like more powerful, I'm assuming a more powerful man. In fantasy worlds, I am really still learning about different things, so I don't know what the more powerful man is. I think it's a Jarl. And she finds out that she has these crazy powers. I like that you can see me back there. Anyway, she has these crazy powers that she has to learn to train and tame them. And she gets these feelings for the man that's training her, which is, I believe, the Jarl's son. But yeah, I want to support local authors. I think that when you're on the surface level of loving books, you don't realize that they can live in your city, and this lady does. And she held a conversation with Amari Ariu, who wrote Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars, which is my current obsession at the moment. I'm literally doing a book report on Amari's books. And sorry, somebody was calling me. I will call her back. And so they had this beautiful conversation, and she brought up that her books, I might have said this already, but I don't know if it was in this video, are a mix of Mad Max and ACOTAR. And so I just went on my friend's messaging me. I just went on to my library and got it. I can't go. Somebody, late notice, do you want to go for wings tonight? I cannot go for wings. Maybe after, actually. Anyway, so I got her book. She was so funny, and I've never actually met authors before of like more mainstream, and it just like changed the perspective that I had on them. And so I just want to support local. This next one will be the one book that I read out of all these books. It is called Sky Full of Elephants by Sybil Campbell. And basically, it's a story about all the white people walked into bodies of water and died. And it's a world full of no white people. As a white, I think that's such an interesting concept. And I very much want to know that perspective. So we have our main character, Charlie, a year into this, I have it written here, post-racial world. He's navigating it. He's navigating a life that he is so new to and so many people are new to. And he's reconnected with his 19-year-old daughter, Sydney, who, for the last year, after this happening, has been alone because her mother was white. And so she's traumatized. And they meet for the very first time, and they basically navigate this new world that they're in. And yeah, I just think it's something that needs to be seen. I've seen a few people talk about this, and yeah, I'm gonna read this one. I'm very excited to read this one. If you watched last week's, you know I am a psychology major in school, and I will come across things that I'll read about in school, and it will be, oh, I should get that. So there was this gentleman in the 1600s that really, who basically wrote the first self-help book. It's called The Anatomy of Melancholy, and I put his book on hold, and then this other one that was like a rendition of it where it like broke down basically what he was saying, because it was so old speak, but like 1600 speak. And if you know me, I suck at pronunciation. I'm not really a classics girl. I do read a lot, but it's like contemporary and fantasy and romance, and some thrillers are in there, but that's my vibe. I do pine to be a classics reader, but I just don't have like the patience for it, almost, if it's a lot of brain power. But I put this on hold a few months ago and it finally came in, and the rendition one is like small. It's a tiny little book. This is The Anatomy. This is the original one. He had so much to say. But I also have like Aristotle's book. So this, I think he was a philosopher, but not like one of the main ones. Like, maybe he was. I don't know too much about Robert Burton. I think I called him Richard Burton, and I think that's an actor, but I don't know much about him. But Aristotle's book is really long too, and I've tried to read that, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I don't know if I'll read this one. This is one that's just like, okay, it's here. It's like, I've rented like Freud ones, and I have Carl Jung's book. I call him Carl Jung. Like, it's not good. I'm learning, okay? But yeah, I have Carl Jung's book, some Symbols and Signs, somewhere. Where is it? It's probably here somewhere. But yeah, I probably won't read it. It's cool to have it. It is what it is. Let's see. Which one do I want to do? Do my friend Tim? Yeah. I call him my friend Tim only because I found him on Book Talk. And he is this like man who reads like a lot of books, and like a lot of the romance and like fantasy books that I've read. And I'm just like, and it's not performative, if you know what I mean. Like, you see men on TikTok or Instagram performative reading these books, and he doesn't. Like, he just loves to read. And his name is Tim Blackett. He has his own book out called Grandview Drive, and it is a collection of short stories about the connection between, or like, what does he say? The intersections of loneliness and connection, and each story is intertwined. And I have been kind of the vibes lately. I've been reading a lot about loneliness. I think loneliness is a huge thing right now, and connection, wanting to connect because of the age of the digital world. And so I really wanted to support him. It turns out that he is Canadian, and he is from Regina, and is trying to create Regina's first indie bookstore coffee shop. He's got a Kickstarter on his TikTok page, or I don't know if he has it on Instagram. I'm an Instagram person but I also scroll TikTok. So TikTok, Tim Blackett, he's got a Kickstarter going to hopefully have this inclusive environment for the people of Regina. And as somebody who loves bookstores, I have several in my city and several beautiful bookshops that I can go to in art spaces where I couldn't imagine not having something like that as a reader. And so not only is he an incredible author that I'm really looking forward to like digging into his book a bit, he is a businessman and dreamer. And so that's this one. The next one is The Black Count: Glory, Revolution, Betrayal, and the Real Count of Monte Cristo. Everybody has been talking about, well, everybody, my algorithm, everybody's reading The Count of Monte Cristo. So I downloaded it. I put it on my Kindle so I can annotate it and stuff, because I think if I had the actual book, as a person who like does not read classics, I think it would intimidate me. So I need that able to like Google words, how to pronounce it, so annotate it. It's probably gonna be my this year's goal read, because I haven't actually read a classic. Anyway, everybody's talking about it. I wanted to read it, and then somebody said if you're looking into a little bit more depth of the Count of Monte Cristo, to read about his dad, Alex Dumas, or not, to read more about not the Count of Monte Cristo. The man who wrote it was Alexander Dumas. He also, what I didn't know, wrote The Three Musketeers. We all know about The Three Musketeers in some way or the other. Even if you're a Stranger Things person, you know The Three Musketeers. So they were inspired by his father, Alex Dumas, who was the Black Count. I have my little notes in the back here just so that I like get the summary of the summary. I did that. 18th century. He was born of a black slave mother and a fugitive white French nobleman in the present day Haiti. Haiti or Haitian? I know it's Haitian. So is it Haiti or Haiti? Haiti. I think it is Haiti. Sorry, I've said that so many times. He was sold into bondage, but made his way to Paris. When the war broke out, he joined the army, where he slowly rose in rank. And I think he was in charge of like 50,000 men. He then became a serious threat to Napoleon. Now, when I went to go take this out, the lady said that there was French Revolution stuff in this, and I'm not a history buff. I am now just getting into like all my history things, and so I'm kind of concerned of what that could mean. Why she kind of like hesitated and whatever. Is it because it's like history? Because I don't have a problem with history, but yeah, I just figure it was something to dig into while I tried to read The Count of Monte Cristo, because it was inspired by this gentleman. He was captured and nearly poisoned to death, but he escaped. So he's quite resilient, if I do say so myself. There is something I wanted to write in the back. It was a lushly textured journey through the late 18th century and a window into the modern world's first multiracial culture. Society. The final book, but also the one that I am going to read, is Chlorine by Jane. I'm so sorry. Jade Song. I knew it was Jade Song too. I was double checking, and then I saw the N in this, and anyway, I ruined that start. Last but not least, Chlorine by Jade Song. I had seen this recommended to me probably as much as I saw the Count of Monte Cristo, and it's basically about a swimmer who's obsessed with swimming. She loves swimming. Her coach is her shining star. Her only friends are on her team, and she's obsessed with mermaids. And so I think there's a little bit of a horror twist in this, where she'll do anything to possibly become a mermaid and live in the water. It does say no matter how much blood she has to spill, and it has something to do with chlorine. So I do think that I am going to read this one too, only because it's a fun play of what will you do for your dreams, and like if you're obsessive over your dreams and you really want something to come true, what will you do for it? And it's a fun little play, and I think there's like a little bit of a horror aspect to it. So yeah, those are ones I'm really excited to dive into. I have done this several times, and the last time I did it, it took me like 20 minutes and the video ended really quick. And I have promised you 20 to 25 minutes of yabbering. I am not gonna lie, I am feeling quite overwhelmed by the amount of books that are adding up onto my TBR. So I am going to be a little bit less like organized next week's video. I think it will be, next week actually might be my like January reads wrap up, but it is going to be not a library thing. I think I always want to be respectful, and I always want to like read all the books that I get, especially on history and different cultures and different perspectives. And so yeah, I think the first part of this year, I just got really excited about all the books that I could read, and this always happens at the beginning of the year, and then I feel this obligation to do it in the perfect, order that my brain wants it to be in. And so next week will be my wrap up. I really need to start focusing on school a lot more, and so we might have like a little school chat video, or we might have other things. This really is enjoyable to me, and I hope that if you've watched to this point, you're enjoying it too. If you are angry about something, or if you have a comment on something, or if you've read something that I read, or you're interested in any of these books behind me, leave a comment. I really love books and reading and digging into different types of information and stories that I am basically using this as a way to connect with people and just put a little bit of joy and, I guess, basically distraction in the world with what's going on, and encouraging reading and continuing to educate yourself and to have a place in the world that you can focus for a little bit more, take a break, And so yeah, I'm overwhelmed right now with all the books that I have to read, along with like what's going on with life. And I am currently working on a book report on Heavenly Bodies. It is a book that I read over the new year, so it's like the end of December, beginning of January, and I met the author and I'm obsessed with it. The intricate ways that she put beauty in this book is something that I haven't seen in a long time, and I haven't seen with this new fresh set of eyes of how I've like healed a little bit over the years. So I'm working on a big report for that I do plan on coming out with like a big old yappy spoiler deep dive into it. She's got a few other books coming that I think she's got a 5-book deal. Her third one's coming out this November, and so in the background I'm working on like not even just like a personal book report for myself, but I want to do a review video on it. And then yeah, I have other things like that I'm getting done. I'm trying to journal a little bit more. I am actively journaling every day, just about my day, and I am book journaling too. So that's what I call my book reports. That was inspired by this guy on Instagram that was like, people need to do more book reports. I was like, yeah, his name is Mortimer. I would look it up, but I don't have it. I'll have to take him or put his thing. He has no idea who I am. I just get inspired by these people on the internet that are bookish kind of people. So yeah, next week probably won't be a library haul. They tend to be quite random, which is fun. I think it's good, but I also am like putting all these books out, and I don't want people to be like, you didn't read this book. And no, I didn't. I'm not going to read them all. I have, I think, 13 checked out. I have more on the way, and I have a dog that is sitting here. Would you like to say hi to her? So yeah, next week's video will be a wrap up of the books that I read. This is Sailor. And yeah, I don't know. What are you doing? I love you. She burped. I just got quiet because I'm petting her, and now I'm in like Zen mode. Zen mode. Yeah. Those are the books that I read. I'm sad that the energy isn't as great right now. I will start learning how to edit so these aren't so all over the place, but this is who I am. And there will be a time when I hopefully will learn a little bit more about editing, and I will edit and curate myself in a certain way. But I think I'm just trying to like accept myself and know myself raw, if that makes sense, rather than so curated. So you got to this part where I am out of energy and I need to make another coffee and I need to go work on school. I appreciate you, and I thank you for being here and listening to my ramble and my distractedness and my dogs and my mess. Have a great day. Bye.